A Valentine's Day blind date turned into a disaster, until the stranger sitting next to me whispered, "I'll be your date if you'll be mine." I laughed, thinking it was a joke, until he took my hand and said, "Come on, let's make this a night to remember." And when he kissed me under the city lights at midnight, I knew, maybe the best love stories are the ones you never see coming. I, 38 female, was recently divorced after being with my husband for over 12 years. I didn't think I'd ever be back in the dating world again, especially not in my late 30s. It wasn't like I had some fairy tale relationship, but getting cheated on 2 weeks before our anniversary still knocked the wind out of me. Therapy helped. My friends helped. But Valentine's Day? That one hit a little harder than expected. So my best friend, Lisa, who's been begging me to get back out there, decided to set me up on a blind date. She swore this guy was solid. "You'll like him, I promise. His name's Mark. He's sweet. I work in finance. Normal. Stable. Divorced too, no kids. And not a weirdo." Whatever, I thought. One dinner. We made plans to meet at a place downtown called the Blue Orchid, a nice spot in River North, Chicago. I'd been there once before for an office party, and I remembered the food being decent and the atmosphere warm. A little upscale without trying too hard. The kind of place you could feel relaxed in. I got there 10 minutes early because Lisa told me, first impressions matter. Don't be late. I sat by the window and waited. The host gave me a menu and some water. Then more time passed. I checked my phone. No texts, no missed calls. I kept glancing at the door every time someone walked in. I tried not to look desperate, but deep down, I could feel that sick sinking feeling grow in my stomach. 15 minutes went by. Then 30. Still no Mark. I texted Lisa, asking if she was sure about the time and place. She said yes and apologized over and over. "I'm calling him now." Maybe he got stuck in traffic. Another 10 minutes passed. I asked the waiter for another glass of water. That was my dinner at that point. Just tap water and disappointment. At that point, I was embarrassed and pissed. I got up to leave when the guy sitting at the table right next to me leaned over a little and said, "Let me guess. Blind date ghosted you too?" I paused. Blinked. He had a warm, casual look, jeans and a black button-down, kind eyes, short messy brown hair. Maybe mid-40s? His voice was calm, but there was a little edge of humor in it, like he'd seen enough bad dates to write a book. "Yeah," I said, trying not to sound as bitter as I felt. "Either that or I got catfished by my friend." He chuckled. Mine showed up, looked me up and down, and left 5 minutes later. Didn't even say goodbye. Just "I'll be right back" and ghosted. I laughed. It felt good to laugh. "That's rough." He nodded. "I'm Daniel, by the way." "Rachel." We sat there in a weird silence for a second, then he said something that threw me off completely. "Well, Rachel, I know we're strangers, but I've got a proposal. Since we both got ditched tonight, how about I be your date if you'll be mine?" I blinked again, like maybe I misheard him. "What?" He smiled, not smug, not pushy, just kind. "We're already dressed. We're already here. Might as well not waste the night." I stared at him. "You're serious?" He shrugged. "Why not? We can sit here and be miserable separately or maybe salvage the evening." I sat back down. "Okay. Let's do it." After dinner, he asked if I wanted to take a walk. The night was cold, but not brutally so. Chicago had one of those weirdly warm February days, and the air felt fresh. We walked along the Riverwalk, just talking. Nothing intense. No pressure. It didn't even feel like a date anymore. It felt like two people just being human together. Then out of nowhere, he stopped walking and said, "Close your eyes." I gave him the most skeptical look of my life. "Excuse me?" trust me. Just 5 seconds. And for some reason, I did. 5 seconds later, I felt something cold touch my lips. I opened my eyes and there he was, holding 2 vanilla ice cream cones. Where he got them from, I still don't know. But he was grinning like a kid. Best dessert for the worst Valentines, he said. We sat on a bench by the river, eating ice cream in the cold like absolute idiots. And somehow it was perfect. Not in a romantic movie kind of way, but in a screw it, life is weird kind of way. I didn't know what to expect from the night. Honestly, I expected to cry on my way home, throw on sweatpants, and eat Doritos in bed while watching reruns. But now I was here, next to a guy I'd known for less than 4 hours, sharing ice cream under the city lights, and for the first time in a long time. I wasn't thinking about my ex. I wasn't thinking about being alone. I was just there. At one point, he turned toward me, his face serious. You okay? He asked. Yeah, I said. I actually think I am. And I meant it. He smiled, then took my hand. Not in a creepy way. Just, gently. Like he was checking if I'd pull away. I didn't. Then he said, there's one more thing I want to show you tonight. And we started walking again. We walked for a while, hand in hand. It felt strange, in a good way. Not forced. Not desperate. Just, natural. Daniel led me a few blocks over to Millennium Park. Most of the crowd had cleared out by then, and the city felt quieter. More intimate. The bean was still lit up, reflecting the skyline and the few people still wandering around. He stopped right in front of it, turned to me, and said, all right, make a wish. I laughed. You're mixing up things. That's fountains. Or maybe birthday candles. He smirked. Doesn't matter. The rule is, if you're standing under the lights on Valentine's night, with a stranger who made you laugh, you have to make a wish. I rolled my eyes. Fine. I closed them. Took a breath. I didn't say it out loud, but the wish was simple. Please let this not be fake. Please let this be real. He didn't ask what I wished for. He just nodded, like he already knew. We stood there in silence for a minute. And then, just as I thought we might kiss again, his phone buzzed. He looked down at it and something shifted in his face. It wasn't big. Just a flicker. But I noticed. He shoved the phone back into his pocket too quickly. Everything okay? I asked. Yeah. Just work stuff. It was 11:30 p.m. on a Friday night. But I didn't push. We sat on a nearby bench, facing the lights. He was quiet for a minute, then asked, do you ever wonder if you're just somebody's distraction? The question hit harder than it should have. All the time, I said quietly. He nodded. Looked down at his hands. I wasn't planning on saying this, but I feel like I should. I tensed. I'm not seeing anyone. But I'm not exactly single either. Not officially. My stomach dropped. What does that mean? I mean, I've been in a weird situation with someone for a while now. We broke up last year, but, you know how it goes. Off and on. Mostly off. But she still texts. Sometimes we meet up. It's messy. I didn't expect tonight to go like this. My brain froze. So she could show up any minute? No. It's not like that. She lives in New York now. She just texted tonight. Said she missed me. I stared at him. And I didn't answer. I looked away. My chest tightened in that old familiar way, the one you get when someone you like suddenly becomes someone you don't trust. I should go, I said. He reached for my hand. Please don't. Look, I get how this sounds. But I'm here with you, right now. Not her. You made tonight better. More than better. I haven't felt this normal in months. I pulled my hand back. You should have told me earlier. I know. I screwed up. I stood up. It's late. I'll get a cab. He stood too, hands in his pockets, eyes down. I'm sorry, Rachel. I walked away before he could say more. My heart pounded. Not because I was angry, but because I'd let my guard down. Again. I found a rideshare and sat in the back seat, staring out the window the whole way home. When I got inside my apartment, I sat on the edge of my bed, dress still on, makeup smudged, shoes still on. Then I looked at my phone. He'd texted. I shouldn't have said anything. But I didn't want to lie to you. I hope that means something. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. I didn't answer. But I didn't delete the message either. The next morning, Lisa called. So? How'd it go with Mark? I told her everything. From the no-show to Daniel to the kiss to the confession. She was quiet for a second. Damn, she finally said. Sounds like you had the most romantic and most infuriating night at the same time. That's about right. Then she added, wait. Daniel? Like Daniel Martinez? I froze. Why? She sighed. I think I know him. Well, know of him. My friend Megan dated a guy named Daniel Martinez last year. Same age, same job, also divorced. Said he was charming as hell but had an ex who kept popping back up. My stomach turned. And it ended badly? Worse. Megan caught them together after he said they were done. Told me he always made it sound like he was over her. But he wasn't. I hung up shortly after. Needed time to think. And that's where I'm at now. It's been 2 days. I haven't texted him. He hasn't texted again either. But I keep rereading his last message. I didn't want to lie to you. But is that good enough? So, I didn't text him. Days passed. I tried to convince myself that it was over. That it should be over. A guy who might still be tangled up with his ex isn't someone I need. I'd been through enough already. I didn't need to be someone's maybe ever again. But then Thursday night rolled around, almost a full week since Valentine's Day, and I got a call from an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. 30 seconds later, I got a text. It's Daniel. I know I should leave you alone. But something happened. I need to talk to someone who won't lie to me. Can I call? Against my better judgment, I replied, why me? Because you're the only person who looked me in the eye last week and made me feel like I still mattered. I stared at that message for a long time. Then I said, one call. No games. He called immediately. He sounded tired. Not his usual calm, charming voice. He sounded small. She showed up, he said. Who? I asked, though I already knew. Jenna. My ex. She flew in from New York. Showed up at my place unannounced Tuesday night. Said she missed me, wanted to talk. Wanted to see if there was anything left. And? I told her no. I told her there was someone else. That I wanted to move forward. I didn't say anything. I didn't know what to believe. She didn't take it well. Started crying, yelling. She left, but then yesterday I found out she posted something online. About me. About emotional abuse, manipulation, gaslighting. My stomach twisted. Is any of it true? No. I swear on everything, Rachel. She's been doing this since the breakup. Every time I try to move on, she reappears and tries to ruin it. She never hits me. Never breaks anything. But she does this. She twists it. And I've never known how to prove it wasn't true. But now she tagged my clients. My work account. I'm losing projects. I didn't know what to say. It sounded horrible. But part of me still wasn't sure if he was playing me like he played the others. "Why are you telling me all this?" I finally asked. "Because I need someone to see who I am now. Not the person she says I was. And because when I was with you, I felt like I was finally out of that loop. I didn't want to ruin it. I really didn't." There was silence. Just heavy breathing between us. "I'm not saying you owe me anything," he added. "But I needed you to know." That night, I didn't sleep. The next morning, Lisa sent me a link to Jenna's post. It was up on Instagram. A long paragraph about an unnamed ex who keeps pretending he's changed and abused my emotions for years. She didn't say his name, but she tagged his business account. The comments were mixed. Some supported her. Others asked questions. A few asked if she meant Daniel. My head was spinning. So I did something I shouldn't have done. I messaged Megan, Lisa's friend. The one who supposedly dated Daniel too. I kept it simple. "Hi, I heard you dated Daniel Martinez. I'm not trying to cause drama, just trying to understand what I'm dealing with." She messaged me back 2 hours later. And her reply shook me. "Hi Rachel. Yeah, I dated him. It was intense. He's got a good heart but bad boundaries. His ex Jenna was always in the background." I broke it off after I caught her texting from his phone. Not him, her. She had his passwords. She'd log in and read our messages. Once, she even replied pretending to be him. I confronted him. He said he'd fix it. But I couldn't live in that chaos. I don't think he's evil. I think he's stuck. And until he cuts her off fully, anyone who dates him is stuck too. I sat on my couch for a long time, reading that message over and over. It made me realize something. Maybe the story wasn't just about Daniel being dishonest. Maybe it was about him being tangled up in a toxic cycle he didn't know how to escape from. But that still didn't mean I wanted to be the one holding the rope. Later that night, Daniel texted again, "If you don't want to see me again, I'll understand. But if you do, I'll be waiting. I'm done with the past. For real this time." He didn't send anything after that. I haven't replied. But something in me is leaning toward one more conversation. Not because I'm a romantic. But because I've been stuck before too. Maybe not in the same way. But stuck is stuck. I waited another 2 days before doing anything. I reread Megan's messages, Daniel's last text, Jenna's post. It was a mess. But not the kind of mess you could clean with a simple sorry. This was deep-rooted. Confusing. And honestly, exhausting. Still, I needed answers. Not for him. For me. So I texted Daniel, "I want to talk. In person. Tomorrow." He replied within minutes. "Yes. Name the place. I'll be there." We agreed to meet at a quiet cafe near Lincoln Park. I picked it because it was public, but not loud. I needed space for whatever was about to happen. He was already there when I arrived. Sitting by the window. 2 coffees in front of him. One black. One with oat milk, just like I'd ordered last time. I sat down, didn't touch the coffee. "I talked to Megan," I said. He nodded slowly. "I figured. She said your ex used to text from your phone. Read your messages." "Yeah," he said quietly. "It's true. I didn't know at first. By the time I did, I didn't know how to make it stop without making it worse." "You gave her your passwords?" "I didn't give them. She just figured them out. And I kept letting it slide." "Why?" He looked away, jaw clenched. "Because I was scared she'd go public. Say I abused her. Say I ruined her. And people would believe her. Just like they are now." That doesn't explain why you were still seeing her, Daniel. Why she felt close enough to fly here thinking she had a chance. I didn't ask her to come. But you didn't shut the door either. He ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. You think I wanted this chaos? Rachel, I've been trying to crawl out of that hole for years. You were the first thing that felt like something new. Something real. That night with you, it changed everything. My voice was shaking now. Then why didn't you tell me the full truth that night? Not some half-confession. The whole truth. He stood up suddenly, and for a moment I thought he was going to walk out. But instead, he turned around, and that's when it happened. Someone had followed him. A woman. Late 30s. Dark hair. Sharp coat. Eyes full of fire. Jenna. Unbelievable, she said, loud enough for the cafe to fall silent. Daniel froze. You told me you were done with dating, she said, stepping closer. You said you needed to work on yourself. Not jump into bed with some HR Barbie. My face went cold. Every single person in the cafe was watching now. Whispers started immediately. Jenna, leave, Daniel said, voice low. But she wasn't done. You ghosted me for this? After everything we'd been through? You coward. I stood up. This has nothing to do with me. Oh, honey, it has everything to do with you, she snapped. You think he's stable? You think you're different? I was you. I was the one who believed in him. Now look at me. Posting on Instagram like a crazy woman because that's the only way he listens. You're not helping yourself, Daniel muttered. Jenna turned to me again. You want to know the real Daniel? He doesn't choose people. He keeps everyone on the hook, waiting. Feeding off the attention. He's not malicious, he's needy. And when he breaks you, he'll call it confusion. My chest was pounding. Not with anger. With clarity. I picked up my purse and walked toward the door. Daniel followed me outside. Rachel, wait. Please. I didn't know she was going to come here. I didn't even talk to her after Tuesday. I turned to him. You didn't block her either. He had no answer. You let her live in your life's back door, Daniel. And every woman who walks through the front gets blindsided by her. His face broke then. Eyes red. Jaw trembling. I didn't want this, he whispered. I really didn't. I believe you, I said. But that's the problem. Wanting something good isn't the same as being ready for it. And then I left. Lisa called me that night. She'd already heard. Jenna's outburst had made its way onto some Chicago-spotted Instagram page. Someone had recorded it. I'm so sorry, she said, voice full of guilt. I never meant for this. It's not your fault, I told her. You couldn't have known. But honestly, part of me did blame her. Not because she introduced me to Daniel, but because she always made it seem like I needed to get back out there to feel whole again. Like healing could only come in the shape of a new man. That night, I sat on the floor of my apartment with a glass of wine and scrolled through all the texts, all the messages, all the almosts between me and Daniel. Then I deleted every single one. It's been a month. Daniel hasn't reached out since. Jenna hasn't posted anything new either. I don't know if they went back to each other, or if they finally blew up for good. I'm not checking anymore. Lisa still invites me out, but I haven't said yes yet. The thing is, I'm not heartbroken. I'm not even mad anymore. I'm just tired. But I learned something important. Sometimes, the pain doesn't come from being lied to. It comes from wanting to believe the lie so badly that you lose yourself in it. That night under the city lights was real. But it was just a moment. And moments don't build futures. What does? Honesty. Boundaries. Healing. So no, I'm not out there dating. I'm not on any apps. I'm not swiping. I'm cleaning house. Emotionally. And for once, it feels like I'm not chasing something to fix me. I'm enough. Just like this. Some love stories never really start. And that's okay. Sometimes, the story is just about choosing yourself when it would be easier not to.